will explore how to convey a negative perspective on actions occurring in the present or those that happen regularly. In other words, we will explore the usage of the simple present tense with negation in Bangla through in-depth conversations and practical exercises. Additionally, we will learn how to describe our daily routines and habitual actions. As always, let's begin by observing a conversation between two schoolmates discussing their daily activities. Rajat says, "Namaskar Pratik, তুমি কি প্রতি শনিবার লাইব্রেরিতে আসো না?" Rajat says, "Hello Pratik, do you not come to the library every Saturday?" Pratik replies, "নমস্কার রজত, হ্যাঁ আমি সাধারণত শনিবার দিন লাইব্রেরিতে আসি না." Pratik replies, "Hello Rajat, yes, I don't usually come to the library on Saturdays." In this conversation, Rajat initiates the interaction with greeting Namaskar, which is a formal and respectful way of greeting in Bengali, akin to Namaste in Hindi. This form of greeting is often used in polite or formal contexts, demonstrating cultural reverence and warmth. Following the greeting, Rajat poses a question, "তুমি কি প্রতি শনিবার লাইব্রেরিতে আসো না?" which translates to, "Do you not come to the library every Saturday?" In this sentence, the presence of auxiliary verb do in the negative form aligns with the English negation rules in the present tense. This construction emphasizes habitual action while questioning its negation. Tumi is the informal second person pronoun, translating to you. This pronoun is commonly used in casual conversations. Ki functions as a question marker in Bengali, often used in yes-no questions to indicate an interrogative intent. Proti means every, signifying habitual recurrence. Shonibar refers to Saturday, which is sixth day of the week. Library translates to library, a place where books and reading materials are stored for use of borrowing. The verb asho is the present tense second person singular form of asha, meaning to come. The negation na appears at the end of the sentence, which is a common feature in Bengali syntax, as negation is typically placed at the conclusion of a statement or a question. In response, Pratik greets Rajat in return, saying, "নমস্কার Rajat, হ্যাঁ আমি সাধারণত শনিবার দিন লাইব্রেরিতে আসি না," which translates to, "Hello Rajat, yes, I do not usually come to the library on Saturdays." Namaskar is used again as a polite reciprocal greeting. Hai translates to yes, confirming the question before negating it. Ami is the first person singular pronoun meaning I, making the subject of the sentence. Shadharonoto means usually, indicating a habitual but non-absolute action. Shonibar is repeated to emphasize the specific day of the week being referred to. Din means day, reinforcing the time reference. Librarite is the locative form of library, indicating the place of action. Ashina is the negative first person singular present tense form of asha, meaning to come. Negation na follows the verb, adhering to Bengali negation rules. The key distinctions in verb conjugation between the two sentences is tumi asho na, second person singular present tense with negative, and ami ashina, first person singular present tense with negative. Pratik's response leads to a natural transition into a discussion about his usual schedule and reasons for his absence from the library on Saturdays. The shift from negation to explanation allows for a more engaging conversation about time management and routine activities. The conversation effectively demonstrates how Bengali negation structures operate within different verb conjugations and how auxiliary question markers like key function in forming yes-no questions. Additionally, it highlights the flexibility of habitual action indicators such as proti and sadharanato in shaping the meaning within a sentence. Now we'll look at the continuation of the conversation. Rajat says, আচ্ছা, তুমি রবিবার অনেক সকালে উঠতে পারো না নিশ্চয়ই? Rajat says, well, you can't get up early on Sunday morning surely? Pratik replies, হ্যাঁ, আমি এমনিই সকালে উঠি না। তুমিও কি ওঠো না সকালে? Pratik replies, yes, I simply do not get up in morning. Do you not get up in the morning too? Rajat begins the conversation by saying, আচ্ছা, রবিবার অনেক সকালে উঠতে পারো না নিশ্চয়ই? This translates to, well, you surely can't get up early on the Sunday morning. Let's break this sentence down to understand the structure and meaning in depth. First, we encounter the word acha, which is commonly used in Bengali to mean well or all right, and often serves as an interjection to introduce a thought, question, or confirmation. Next, we see tumi, which is the semi-formal second person pronoun in Bengali, equivalent to you in English. This pronoun is commonly used in conversations among peers, friends, or younger individuals. Following that, we come across Robibar, which refers to Sunday, a day of the week that falls between Saturday and Monday. The word onek is generally used to mean a lot or many. However, in this context, it modifies shokale, which means morning, to emphasize very early in the morning. So, onek shokale translates to very early in the morning. Then we see utte, which is infinitive form of the verb to get up. In this sentence, it is used as a part of a phrasal verb to indicate that action of waking up. The verb paro is the present tense conjugation of para, which means to be able to. Since this sentence expresses a negative statement, na is added after paro to indicate the negation, forming parona, which means cannot or can't. Finally, we see nishchoy, which means surely or certainly. This word is generally used to express agreement or certainly about a statement. Now, Pratik replies, হ্যাঁ, আমি এমনিই সকালে উঠি না। তুমিও কি ওঠো না সকালে? This translates to, yes, I simply don't wake up early in the morning. Do you also not get up in the morning? Let's analyze this response carefully. Pratik begins with হ্যাঁ, which means yes. This acknowledges Rajat's question and affirms the statement. Next, the pronoun ami is used, which is the first person singular pronoun, meaning I in English. This marks the subject of the sentence. The word emni it emphasizes the habitual nature of the action, implying that Pratik naturally does not wake up early in the morning. Then we see shokale, which as discussed as earlier means in the morning and specifies the time of action. The verb uthi is the first person present tense form of otha, which means to get up. However, since the sentence expresses negation, na is placed at the end, forming uthina means do not get up. Pratik not only responds to Rajat's statement but also asks him a question. তুমিও কি ওঠো না সকালে? This translates to, do you also not get up in the morning? Tumi is the semi-formal second person pronoun, meaning you. O is attached to tumi to form tumio, where O functions as an emphasis marker. It means also or to, highlighting that the question is meant to check if Rajat follows the same habit as Pratik. Ki acts as a question marker, commonly used in Bengali yes-no questions. Otho is the second person present tense form of otha, means to get up. Na is placed at the end to form the negation, indicating do not. Finally, shokale means in the morning, specifies the time frame. This conversation between Rajat and Pratik effectively demonstrates the use of negation in the simple present tense in Bengali. By examining the structure of these sentences, we can understand how Bengali forms negative statements by placing na at the end of the sentence, and how emphasis marker o and question markers ki contribute to the meaning. Through this conversation, the two friends enter into discussing their personal matters. Let's see what they say. Rajat says, "Na, আমি দেরি করে উঠি না." Rajat says, "No, I don't wake up late." Pratik replies, "রবিবার বাড়ির কাজকর্ম থাকে না তোমার?" Pratik replies, "You do not have house chores on Sunday?" Rajat begins the conversation by saying, "Na, আমি দেরি করে উঠি না," which translates to "No, I don't wake up late." Let's analyze this sentence in detail. The word na serves as an emphatic no in Bengali. It is often used to reinforce a negative statement or to clarify a denial in conversation. Next, we encounter ami, the first person singular pronoun, which translates to I in English. This marks the subject of the sentence. The word deri means lateness or delay, referring to the act of being late. Following this, the verb kore is in simple present tense, meaning by doing or do. In this context, it emphasizes the action related to being late. The next word, uthi, means wake up and is used as a phrasal verb in the sentence. Lastly, na is placed at the end, making the sentence negative. It indicates not or no and negates the verb, forming I don't wake up late. Pratik then responds with, "রবিবার বাড়ির কাজকর্ম থাকে না তোমার?" This translates to, "Don't you have house chores on Sunday?" Let's break down this sentence. Robibar means Sunday, which is the first day of the Bengali week and typically a holiday in many cultures. It is placed at the beginning of the sentence to set the time frame for the question. Barir is derived from bari, which means house. However, er suffix is added, turning it into possessive form, meaning of the house or houses. Kajkormo refers to the work or course. This phrase highlights an essential aspect of a daily or weekly routine, implying household duties. Thake means to have or to exist. However, when negated with na, it changes the sentence into a negative form, meaning do not have. Lastly, tomar translates to your and functions as second person possessive pronoun. It indicates ownership or belonging, referring to whether the household chores belong to Rajat. In this conversation, Rajat strongly negates the assumption that he wakes up late by using na, ami deri kore uthi na. Pratik, in return, challenges this by questioning whether Rajat has any household responsibilities on Sundays. The placement of na at the end of both sentences effectively emphasizes negation in Bengali, making these statements clear and direct. This dialogue also demonstrates how emphasis markers, possessive pronouns, and interrogative structures shape the conversational Bengali. Let's continue observing the conversation to see what Rajat responds. Rajat says, "হ্যাঁ, কিন্তু বাইরের কাজ তেমন থাকে না." Rajat says, "Yes, but there is not much outside work." Pratik replies, "সেদিন নিশ্চয়ই হোটেলের খাবার আসে না তোমার বাড়িতে?" Pratik replies, "Surely hotel food won't come to your house that day." In this part of conversation, Rajat responds to Pratik's inquiry about their eating habits. Rajat begins by saying, হ্যাঁ কিন্তু বাইরের কাজ তেমন থাকে না, which translates to yes, but there is not much outside work. Rajat initially affirms Pratik's question with হ্যাঁ, meaning yes. However, he then introduces a contrast with the word kintu, which indicates that the following statement will present an opposite idea. The next word, bairer, translates to outside in English, referring to external activities. Following this, kaj means work. The word tamon suggests the extent or amount of work. It conveys that there is not a significant amount of work to be done outside. The verb thake is the third person singular present tense of thaka, meaning to be or to exist. Finally, na, meaning no or not, negates the verb, making the sentence a negative statement. Thus, Rajat conveys that there is little to no outside work. Pratik responds with, সেদিন নিশ্চয়ই হোটেলের খাবার আসে না তোমার বাড়িতে, which means surely hotel food won't come to your house that day. Here, the sentence begins with সেদিন, meaning that day. Since the entire conversation revolves around a particular day, Pratik emphasizes it to specify the time frame of this statement. Next, nishchoy means surely or certainly. This word expresses a strong degree of certainty, highlighting Pratik's confidence in his assumption. The phrase hoteler khabar translates to hotel food. Here, hoteler is the possessive form of hotel, meaning hotel. The noun khabar means food. When combined, they form the phrase hotel food, referring to the food from a hotel or restaurant. The verb ashena is in the third person singular present negative form. The verb asha means to come and na negates it, meaning does not come. Finally, tomar means your. It is a possessive adjective that indicates ownership or relationship. The noun bari means house or home. When combined, tomar bari translates to your home. By structuring the sentence this way, Pratik implies that on the day in the question, Rajat will not be able to rely on hotel food being delivered to his house. The use of nishchoy makes it clear that Pratik assumes this to be an undeniable fact, reinforcing the certainty of this statement. Rajat's response negates the idea of having much outside work, while Pratik's reply introduces an expectation regarding the food availability. Let's move on to the next conversation. Rajat says, আমি নিজে রান্না করতে পারি না. Rajat says, I can't cook for myself. Pratik replies, আচ্ছা, আমি বাইরের খাবার খেতে পছন্দ করি না. Pratik replies, oh, I don't like eating outside. In this segment of the conversation, Rajat responds to Pratik's inquiry regarding their food habits. Rajat begins by saying, আমি নিজে রান্না করতে পারি না, which translates to I can't cook for myself. Here, we observe that the pronoun ami, meaning I, establishes the subject of the sentence. The next word nije translates to self, indicating a sense of personal identity or consciousness. Following this, ranna korte means to cook, referring to the process of preparing food by heating it. Finally, parena translates to can't. The verb can expresses ability, and the negation na turns it into a negative statement, meaning cannot. Pratik then responds with আচ্ছা, আমি বাইরের খাবার খেতে পছন্দ করি না, which means, oh, I don't like eating outside. In this sentence, ami once again marks the subject meaning I. The word বাইরের translates to outside. Given the context of their conversation about food, বাইরের খাবার refers specifically to food prepared outside the home, such as restaurant or street food. The phrase খাবার খেতে means to eat. The structure here implies an action related to food consumption expressed in a continuous form. The word পছন্দ means to like or to be fond of something. Finally, the phrase করি না means don't do. Here, করি is the first person singular present tense form of the verb to do, and না is a negation, making the entire phrase do not like. To explore further, let's analyze the grammar and the structure of these sentences. The first we'll see the reflexive pronoun নিজে. The word নিজে is used to emphasize the subject's own involvement. পারে না is a combination of the verb পারে, meaning can, and the negation না, forming cannot. করি না follows the same negation pattern where করি is the verb to do in the first person singular present tense and na negates it, meaning do not do. Now, let's continue exploring their discussion further and see what more they have to share about their eating habits. Roger says, তুমি কি আমিষ খাও না একেবারেই? Roger says, do you not eat non-veg at all? Pratik says, আমি নিরামিষাশী, আমার বাড়িতে আমিষ রান্না হয় না. Pratik replies, I'm a vegetarian. I don't cook non-vegetarian food in my house. In this part of conversation, Rajat asks Pratik a question in the another context, saying that, তুমি কি আমিষ খাও না একেবারেই? Do you not eat non-veg at all? Here, we know that তুমি in English is you, is a second person pronoun used to refer to the person or people being addressed. The key functions as a question marker, commonly used in yes-no questions. The word amish means non-veg. Non-vegetarians are those who actually prefer to eat other animal foods along with natural foods. Then the word khao, which means eat. The verb form eat is a simple present tense which is used in this sentence. Then we see na is used to mean negative approach and to indicate no. The word akebari, meaning in English at all, we usually use it as an adverb. Pratik responds, আমি নিরামিষাশী, আমার বাড়িতে আমিষ রান্না হয় না, which translates to I'm a vegetarian. I don't cook non-vegetarian food in my house. Here we see Pratik himself says that he is actually a vegetarian. Here we found a new word vegetarian. It is a noun phrase describing someone who only eats vegetarian food. Then Pratik says Amar means mine. Then we see Barite means house. Next, Amish means non-veg. Then we see new word Ranna means cook. Here, cook is used as a main verb in this sentence. Then we see hoy na in English. It means don't. Here, do is basically used as a moral verb in this sentence, and na is used to mean negative approach and to indicate no. Let's move on to the next conversation. Rajat says, আচ্ছা, তুমি কি সবজি খাও না? Rajat says, oh, don't you eat vegetables? Pratik replies, না, সব রকম সবজি ফল আমি খাই না. Pratik replies, no, I don't eat all kinds of vegetables and fruits. In this part of conversation, Rajat asks Pratik a question in another context, saying, আচ্ছা, তুমি কি সবজি খাও না? This translates to, oh, don't you eat vegetables? Rajat begins this sentence with acha, which is an interjection often used to express agreement or to gain attention. Following this, the word তুমি is the second person pronoun you, referring to the person being addressed. The word কি acts as a question marker, commonly used in yes-no questions. The term সবজি translates to vegetables in English. The verb খাও means eat and is used in simple present tense, indicating a habitual action. The negative particle na is used at the end of the sentence, negating the verb and implying a negative meaning. Pratik responds, না সব রকমের সবজি ফল আমি খাই না, which translates to no, I don't eat all kinds of vegetables and fruits. Here, Pratik initially rejects Rajat's question with na, which is a strong negation or emphatic no. He then says সব রকমের, meaning all kinds of, which implies an inclusive category of items. The noun সবজি refers to vegetables, followed by ফল, which means fruit. Next, the pronoun আমি means I and marks the subject of the sentence. Finally, the phrase খাই না translates to do not eat. Since the sentence ends with a negative construction, the verb conveys a negative meaning. So far, the conversation between the two has been about their eating habits. Now, let's see where their conversation goes. Rajat says, তোমার কোনো বিনোদনের জায়গা নেই? Rajat says, don't you have any entertainment? Pratik replies, না আমি আড্ডা দিতে পছন্দ করি না. Pratik replies, no, I don't like to hang out. This part of conversation, Rajat asks Pratik a question in another context, saying, তোমার কোনো বিনোদনের জায়গা নেই? Don't you have any place of entertainment? So, the conversation between two friends is now clearly moving in a different direction. It is gradually moving beyond the food habits, reaching the level of entertainment. So, Rajat asks Pratik, tomar, it means you. Previously, we see you is a second person pronoun used to refer to the person or people being addressed. Then kono, in English it means any, following a new word called binodoner. In English it means entertainment. Entertainment is a form of activity that holds the attention and interest of an audience who gives pleasure and delight. Next, we see another new word, jaiga. In English, it means place. And lastly, we see na means no. Na is used to mean negative approach and to indicate no. Now, we see the table where we can see the negation in 3 different types of tenses in present tense with all the pronouns. First, we'll see for first person, which is uttam purush. Singular, simple present tense with negation is ami korina. Present perfect tense with negation is ami korini. Present continuous tense with negation is ami korchi na. Then first person for plural, for simple present tense in negation amra korina. Then present perfect tense with negation amra korini. Then present continuous tense with negation amra korchi na. Then second person মধ্যম পুরুষ, non honorific. For singular, simple present tense with negation তুই করিস না. Then present perfect tense with negation তুই করিস নে. Then present continuous tense with negation তুই করছিস না. Then for non honorific plural, for simple present tense তোরা করিস না. Then simple present perfect tense with negation তোরা করিস নি. And present continuous tense with negation তোরা করছিস না. Then we'll come to second person, means মধ্যম পুরুষ, semi honorific pronoun. For singular and simple present tense তুমি করো না. Then present perfect tense তুমি করোনি. Then present continuous tense তুমি করছো না। Then we'll come to the plural of it. Simple present tense, তোমরা করো না। Then present perfect, তোমরা করোনি। And present continuous, তোমরা করছো না। Then we'll come to second person, which means মধ্যম পুরুষ, honorific. For singular, for simple present, আপনি করেন না। For present perfect, আপনি করেননি। Then for present continuous, আপনি করছেন না। Then we'll come to the plural. For simple present tense, আপনারা করেন না। Then present perfect tense, আপনারা করেননি। And then present continuous tense, আপনারা করছেন না। Then we'll come to the third person, which is প্রথম পুরুষ, which is semi-honorific. For singular, for simple present, সে করে না। For present perfect, সে করেনি। Then present continuous, সে করছে না। For semi-honorific plural, simple present tense, তারা করে না। Then present perfect, তারা করেনি। Then present continuous, তারা করছে না। Then we'll come to the last, third person, which is প্রথম পুরুষ but honorific. For singular, simple present tense, তিনি করেন না। Then present perfect tense, তিনি করেননি। Then for present continuous tense, তিনি করছেন না। Then we'll come to the plural. For simple present tense, তারা করেন না। For present perfect, তারা করেননি। For present continuous, তারা করছেন না। That wraps up today's lesson. We look forward to seeing you in the next class. Until then, ধন্যবাদ and happy learning.